Hello, my name is Zachary Williamson, and welcome back to Beat the Rake DFS. We have an NBA stream for you tonight. I want to start doing these a little bit more. I know I've been focused mostly on EPL streams, but trying to get some NBA free content out for you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us grow the algorithm. And quick, first and foremost, NBA content has no shelf life. So by the time I record this video and put it out, who knows who could have gotten ruled out randomly. But anyway, if you guys are interested in becoming a member of our Patreon, you can go to Beat the Rake DFS's Patreon, sign up here. Prices are inexpensive for what the value it brings. These are Canadian prices. I am a Canadian, so American, I believe it's $12, $12 and $21.50. So not actually too expensive for what you get. With NBA in particular, because that's what we're covering today, you get access to all our NBA content, which is projections, cheat sheets, cores, ownerships, projections. You get access to my player pool, everything that comes with the Beat the Rake, and access to myself and Nick, who are DFS pros. We can help you build lineups and stuff like that. So other than that, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's just jump right into it. I'll be completely honest. First and foremost, I am mostly a DraftKings player. So if I struggle on covering like FanDuel or other websites, it's just because I don't play there. But I do build projections for them. So I have like a general understanding of like how everything works there. And I've played there before, but I just mostly play on DK right now. But anyway, we'll start with our first game. It's Minnesota at Cleveland. Obviously, no Darius Garland. No Karis LeVert, Rajon Rondo still out. So that's going to mean like a lot for the Cleveland side, obviously. Minnesota, this isn't a great matchup for them, but you do have some underpriced pieces. Notably, Russell and Edwards are probably cheaper than we've seen them historically. I think Russell usually sits around the 6'7", or 7'6" and 7'5" range, and down to 7'2". And then obviously Edwards has been dealing with an injury, and it's kind of significantly hurt his upside. As you can see, but he did have a tough matchup here, did play 38 minutes. Efficiency wasn't great, but you're never going to get that for Anthony Edwards. So at 7,000, he's pretty underpriced in my opinion. Definitely someone you can take shots at. I wouldn't say like a core or anything like that, but he's definitely underpriced. On the Cleveland side, obviously no Garland, no LeVert. So Brandon Goodwin at 5,200, I feel like a lot of people are going to want to jump off the price tag, especially at what he did here. But he did play 38 minutes against Minnesota or against Washington. Minnesota is a pace-up matchup for Cleveland. He's around a point per minute player when starting. So at 5,200, I still think there's some value in there, and I think you should definitely staple him into cash. You can play him in GPP. He's a good play. I feel like a lot of people are going to start keep taking shots at Kevin Love, but his minutes haven't been there. It's been really interesting. He played 14 and 17. When we came back from the All-Star break without Garland or LeVert, we thought Love was going to get more like minutes. I'm not going to project him for as low as that, but it's interesting to see his minutes decrease is directly correlated with Lauri Markkanen coming back, and Markkanen has been really good, and he's got an awesome usage rate. The ownership isn't there today. He's expensive at 6,000 on DK. On FanDuel, he is, I think, cheaper. So 5'8", still good on FanDuel. And I know, like, I don't want to box score watch too much, but the interesting thing is, so in November, when we without Sexton and Garland for a little bit, we expected Markkanen to take like a massive step forward in usage, and he didn't. But he has, and it was frustrating. I was playing Mobley the other day, and I was like watching the Cavs game because like when someone in my lineup isn't doing too well, I'll be like, okay, well, what's going on? I'll go check it out, and everything was running through Markkanen. I was like, why? And but he's got like a 30% usage almost since in the 2 games he's been back, going against a pace-up matchup without the ownership. I think I'm going to take some shots at Lauri Markkanen. Otherwise, in this game, that's pretty much it. Like, you can take some shots at Evan Mobley. His usage hasn't been there, but I guess it was last game. It was okay. Got the rebounds. I think like him and Allen, I probably wouldn't play in the same lineup, but you can get there here and there. Again, this is a pretty significant pace up spot for Cleveland and Minnesota. So from this game, I'd say like your target plays would be Markkanen and GPP, Goodwin in all formats, and then taking some shots in Mobley and Allen. And then obviously you can take some shots at Russell and Edwards. They'll be a part of my player pool, just not an important piece of what I'm doing. So that being said, we'll move into the Indy and Orlando game. And on the Orlando side, we have Markelle Fultz back. I don't expect Fultz to necessarily play in too much to like he hasn't played yet. Obviously, I don't know why I'm hitting game lock, but it's his debut. And I'm not expecting him to cut into Cole Anthony or to Jalen Suggs too much, but and Suggs' price has dropped, so I think you can get to Suggs, but I am a little worried that Cole Anthony had already kind of not seen the ceiling, like outside of the Atlanta game. You know, he wasn't seeing the ceiling that we would like him to. You know, obviously, like here and there, he's had spikes, but at 6,800 with Markelle Fultz back, if he loses like 3 or 4 minutes, like it just hurts his upside. So at 6,800, like I feel like a lot of people are going to want to get there. Where do I have him for ownership on DK? So I've got him. This is a sneak peek into the back. Cole Anthony. So I've got him at like 13.5. I haven't really picked it up. I'll probably be underweight to that, honestly. But yeah, so that being said, I think that the Orlando side is really just someone like Michael Carter Jr. I probably don't want to take shots on Markelle Fultz. Mo Bamba on FanDuel. His FanDuel obviously like more blocks and steals upside. So he's better there, but there's not a lot from the Orlando guy. Like I'm kind of the wait and see on what Fultz is. If he's going to come back and play 15 to 20 minutes, like that's definitely going to take away guys from guys like Gary Harris and Terrence Ross, and it'll probably hurt the upside of Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs. So it'll be a wait and see. I want to see how things adjust. Yeah. And then on the Indy side, Malcolm Brogdon got ruled out. He'd been back the last 2 games, played upwards of 30 minutes or just around 30 minutes, I think, in back-to-back, but didn't play fourth quarter either because of blowout. So I was kind of thinking Brogdon might have some upside in a game that doesn't have a significant spread, but then he gets ruled out. And I mean, it makes sense. It's Orlando. Obviously, with Malcolm Brogdon out, Tyrese Halliburton at 8,600 becomes back into play. I probably wasn't going to get there without Malcolm Brogdon being out, but you can see like in Washington and in Minnesota and Sacramento. Was that in Sacramento? Was he still playing for Sacramento at that point? I think he was still playing in Sacramento at that point. So I think, you know, since he came over from Sacramento, Halliburton, it's paid off the 86 tag. I have no problem with it at all on DK. On FanDuel, I believe he is 9.2, so I probably won't get there as much on FanDuel. But yeah, so I think that Tyrese Halliburton on DK is definitely in play. Buddy Hield has been playing a lot of minutes, and his upside with Malcolm Brogdon out is significant, especially because we also have, I believe, Lance Stevenson was ruled doubtful. Yeah, so that's going to allow Hield to just soak up even more minutes. And it's not even that his usage is very high. It's the fact that his minutes upside is so significant. Like he's playing upwards of, 36 to 40 minutes a game. Actually hasn't touched under the 37 mark since being in Indy. So, and we did see this with the players that were shipped out of Indy. They all had those minutes upsides. Like Sabonis was playing like 38. So it's definitely something Carlisle is willing to do. And it just allows him to get up a bunch of shot attempts, increases his floor significantly. So it's 7,000. People might be jumping off of it, but I think I'm going to get there on FanDuel. 7.6 might be a little bit expensive. I know FanDuel scoring is a little different because they have the extra 10,000, the extra position slot, but that is maybe not. Maybe I could still get to him. It's better on DK because he has the 3-point bonus as well. So And then obviously like O'Shea Brissett, 5'9". He's been crushing it. He's been shooting extremely efficiently outside of the OKC game. So I want to say that there's some value left into it, but I don't know if he's anything of a priority. I'll have some shares, but there's definitely better people in the price range. And that's kind of it. Like Isaiah Jackson, you take some shots on. And that's really it for me. Like I probably want to get Halliburton and Buddy Hield and maybe some Jalen Smith on the indie side. But yeah, so recapping the game, Orlando's upside is hurt because of Fultz coming back. With that, you're going to want to take shots at like maybe only the bigs and see what happens with the guards. You can take some shots there, but there's better situations, especially because I think in the next game, players are going to sit. So we'll move on to that game. It's Toronto and at Brooklyn. Obviously, no Kyrie Irving still can't play in Brooklyn. And then with that, Fred VanVleet is questionable. This is a first half of a back-to-back. And Kyrie cannot play tonight, but he can play tomorrow because it is in Toronto tomorrow. They're going home and away, I believe. Let me just double verify that, but I believe that is true. Yeah, so they're at home to the Nets tomorrow. So Kyrie will be involved with that. VanVleet's been dealing with a knee injury. They didn't sit him on the back-to-back, but he was doubtful to play the second half, got ruled back in. That was frustrating because I had to change everything. But I think that VanVleet might sit. And, if he does play, 8,000 definitely in play. 8,400 for Siakam makes a lot of sense. Gary Trent, if VanVleet is out, is where I get Trent because that's when he sees his upside. Obviously, no OG Anunoby. So if you get VanVleet out as well, that's going to mean like Siakam, Trent, Barnes, and then probably one of Boucher, Thaddeus Young, probably get a significant increase in opportunity. Malachi Flynn is someone who spiked last year. He's been playing more and more. I know this was a little bit of a blowout run, maybe in both games, but maybe if VanVleet is out, you see some Malachi Flynn minutes, 3K. I don't know if I'll get there. I haven't broken it down yet, obviously, because it's still projecting VanVleet in. Even without VanVleet being out, I think someone I'm going to be taking shots on both sides is Scotty Barnes. Now, I know you're going to look here, see this. This is gross. He had 4 fouls, and then the game was just a blowout, so he never came back in. I was watching that game. He got 3 fouls in like 7 minutes because he came on for his first stretch, 5 minutes, got a foul, and then came on in the second quarter, where he would normally play the rest of the half, and like immediately fouled twice. And it was just the most frustrating thing. Came back in, he had like 5 at half, so he scored 6 in the third quarter and 7 in the third quarter, and then came out because of the blowout, or like came out for his normal rotation, never came back from his normal rotation because of the blowout. So obviously without OG Anunoby, so he's about a 0.85 on the year without OG Anunoby, even with Fred VanVleet in the lineup, you're looking at like a 0.95 point per minute player. Playing like 30 to 35 or 35 to 40 minutes at 5'7". It's just an underpricing, especially against a Brooklyn Nets team that isn't fantastic defensively. But yeah, that's kind of Toronto. Make sure you monitor the VanVleet situation. On the Brooklyn side, no Kyrie Irving obviously can't play at home. No Kevin Durant, no Ben Simmons. He's going to be out until after probably the Philadelphia game. They play him on the March 10th, I believe. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see if he'll actually come back. He's dealing with back soreness. I remember last year in the playoffs, he was actually dealing with back soreness. So maybe it's a real problem. Maybe it's not. But anyway, so Brooklyn, Seth Curry at 5'9" is okay. Not a priority, but someone I'll take shots at. I'll be interested to see what happens with Goran Dragic. He only played 14 minutes. But obviously he came in, he seemed ready to play. This is a revenge narrative because he hated Toronto. So we'll see what happens with Dragic. Maybe get there in like 1 or 2 of your lineups if you're playing like a 150, just to take some shots, unless you get news that he's starting. Patty Mills' upside is probably hurt even more. So You'll see this game. Okay, so no Kyrie. Kyrie is in. No Kyrie. No Kyrie. No Kyrie. Or Kyrie was in. So once we saw Seth Curry come in, something that we actually saw with Patty Mills was he just wasn't doing much outside of shooting. And you can see even in the game that he hit with Washington, he went 8 for 14 from three, had 40 points, didn't really have any other ancillary pieces other than steals. So he got there. I think that with Dragic and Seth Curry being a part of this mix, that Patty Mills is just not in play for me anymore. So I'm not going to do it. Toronto side press Chua spiked last game, looked really good. If he draws the start, maybe he played his way back into the starting role. That could be interesting at 3,600, especially if we see no Van Vliet, because they'll have to replace, like, Birch has been starting in over Anunoby, but they'll have to replace Van Vliet if he's out. So we'll see what they'll do. My personal lean is like they won't start a guard. My personal lean is they'll go Trent, Barnes, Siakam, probably Thad Young or Chris Boucher, and then Birch or Achua. That'll kind of be what I expect. And then, yeah, so that'll be Toronto. And on the Brooklyn side, there isn't much for me. Like Seth Curry, I'll get to a little bit. Andre Drummond's okay, but there's actually someone rated around his price at his position that I like a little bit better that we can talk later. Yeah, that's kind of this game. Make sure you're looking to see what happens to Van Vliet, right? If he's out, it changes a lot. So the next game is Chicago and Miami. I'm not going to play DeMar DeRozan at 10-2 against Miami Jimmy Butler defense, not at 10-3 either. Vooch is questionable, or at least he's expected to play. Yeah, he's probable now. Okay, so and then obviously no Lonzo for Chicago, no Caruso. So same status quo for Chicago. It's going to be what it has been. For Miami, there's no Kyle Lowry. He has been ruled out for personal reasons, it seems. And what that'll do is that'll increase the upside of a couple players on Miami. Jimmy Butler will have a little bit more of assist opportunities. So he might see a spike. Dan will see a spike in usage. I feel like a lot of people are going to chase Tyler Hero, and like I get it. I'm not a Hero truther, to be honest. If he's playing these 31 to 34 minutes against Chicago, who poor defensively, you can get there. He'll definitely be a part of the like equation tonight, but I feel like some people, I don't know, like Hero's ownership always tends to like spike more than I want it to. I don't know where I have him here, but let me check. Tyler Hero. So I've got him at like 16% right now. He's okay. It could probably increase or decrease. We'll see. I haven't run an ownership update since like this morning, so I'll have to actually go in and adjust things since Brogdon is out because I still have him in. So that being said, in this game, someone I think like the must play value, must play is maybe tough, but I think Gabe Vincent is a great value on this slate at 3,600. No Kyle Lowry. He's going to get around 30 minutes, 3,600, just because we don't have a ton down in that range. We've seen it anytime Lowry is out, he spikes. So I think that Gabe Vincent at 3,600 is definitely in play, just an underprice at that point. Monitor Caleb Martin. He's questionable right now. And if he were to be out, like that opens up like the Max Strus of the world, who's min salary. So if like there's no Caleb Martin, no Kyle Lowry, now they're replacing multiple rotational pieces. And that's where you'll see Strus like go from like these 7 to like the 20 minutes. And at 3K, he definitely can spike an upside. So definitely just monitor the Caleb Martin situation. Yeah, that's kind of it for the game. In the next game, I'm going to say I really like DeJounte Murray on FanDuel. His price at 9.7 is just a little too cheap in my opinion. So I think I'll definitely have DeJounte if I'm playing over on FanDuel. On DK, even I'll have some exposure to him. I like this game. It's got a high total. The Memphis Grizzlies have been in great high total games. So someone like Ja Morant, DeJounte Murray, Desmond Bain, are kind of like okay. I would say like the premier plays are definitely DeJounte Murray and Ja Morant. And then someone who's interesting, and this is why I'm not really into Drummond on DK at least. Steven Adams has been playing a lot. And I know he doesn't have like a ton of shot volume, but like the rebound upside has always been there. And the biggest knock on him in Memphis has been that he was playing, 23, 20, 26 minutes. The crazy thing in this game against Charlotte, he fouled out, but had 42 fantasy points in in 16 minutes. So that was crazy. But yeah, the issue with Steven Adams is like the minutes haven't been there, but the minutes have been there, and I think like at 6K, not a lot of people are going to play him. And so I have him projected decently well, and like not a ton of ownership. So like that's someone that I think I can get to. In Adams here, 6'5". He's okay on FanDuel because he has like block upside. But definitely better on DK, I think, just because of that, like maybe that double bonus as well. But yeah, so he's kind of someone I'm gonna be taking shots at GPP. As for the rest of the game, like I'm probably not focusing on it. Monitor Doug McDermott. It doesn't seem like a big piece. But like he's been playing like 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. This is like the OT game, so it doesn't count, but like 20 to 30 minutes lately in a San Antonio Spurs team that has already kind of had less rotational bodies, obviously because of the trade deadline. And so if you get someone with like no Doug McDermott, maybe you see a slight spike in that can't be right. But anyway, you see like a slight spike in a guy like Lonnie Walker's minutes. Maybe you see depends on who starts. Maybe like if McDermott were out, they would probably go something like DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell. Maybe they go down to a what's his name? Why am I blanking? Primo. Maybe they go to like a Primo at 3-3. Maybe they go to like a Keita beats Giop. We'll see. So like watch the McDermott news. That I think that's actually pretty significant. And the Brandon Clark news is significant too, because like I think you can play Steven Adams already, but if he misses, that just solidifies Steven Adams minutes. So just monitor this news. This is a slate that's going to be nice. There's going to be a ton of late stop. We should have most of this news shortly, if not before or after lock. So yeah. And then obviously we got Charlotte and Milwaukee. Giannis is going to be the pay up on DraftKings. There's like some other people that I want to get to. It's just going to change the roster construction. But I think like if you want to play Giannis, do it against Charlotte. Terrible defensive team. I think on FanDuel you got to get there. Makes a lot of sense. Mikal Bridges spiked last game. LaMelo Ball is too cheap, and last time I checked, he was picking up like no ownership for me. 4% ownership, yeah. So like that's crazy to me. That's kind of it. LaMelo Ball, Giannis, Bridges. If you want to play Harrow, go for it. His upside obviously was significantly hurt last game, and the game before that, he just hasn't been playing the same amount of minutes since Caleb Martin came back. So like maybe if Caleb Martin or Cody Martin, sorry, misses, he's questionable. So if Cody Martin misses, that does actually help. Like you get to Harrell a little bit. I'm not gonna play PJ Washington. Kelly Oubre is okay on FanDuel. I think he's a little bit better. Yeah, they're both the same. So yeah, like not much from this game. Like Giannis, LaMelo, Bridges, and then rotational pieces. Monitor Cody Martin. So not a lot. The last game, I believe, is the last game, Sacramento and OKC. This is the game that I really want to target. Late night hammer at 6 p.m. So I'll be winning nothing and then win everything because I'll stack the crap out of this game. No Josh Giddey, no Lou Dort, still no Taron Davis, no Kendrick Williams, still no Tyler Jerome. Rashawn Holmes is questionable, but hasn't playing much even when he's in. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander without Josh Giddey went nuts last game, and now he's in a equally as good spot, if not a little bit better, because they had Brogdon that game. And Shai at 9-6 on both sites, I think I'm gonna get to in a heaps and downs of, just because of the fact that with Shai, you have so like not only has his like value gone up without Dort and without Giddey, he's just a better player than what he was historically. And so you see him being more aggressive. You see him handling the ball and running the offense more efficiently. So 9-6, I think Shai is also really good. The other pay up, and the reason why I'm not going to get a ton of Jonas is I like Sabonis or Giannis, not Jonas, but the reason why I'm not going to get to a lot of Giannis is I like Sabonis. Since he's come to Sacramento, he had that down game there against Brooklyn, but 40, 53, 62, 59, he's been playing more of his minutes at the center position, which is why DraftKings has made him only a center now. It makes sense. It's annoying, but it makes sense. And it's just increasing his upside significantly. This is something we saw in Indiana as well. Whenever he played the 5, he was more efficient. Most players are just more rebounding opportunities. And they've been running the offense through him a little bit, and his assist upside is spiked, right? And we saw this again also in Indiana, where he does have those, 8 to 5 to 7. There's a while there, I think last year or maybe earlier this year, all of NBA gets blurred together. But I remember like Sabonis had like 3 triple doubles in a row at one point, so it's definitely in him to do it. I think Sabonis and Shai are my pay ups. I'm going to be playing them a lot together. Not even from a correlation standpoint, but it helps they're correlated because they're in the same game. As much as NBA is correlated, it's not very much, but it can be. So I'll get to a lot of Shai and a lot of Sabonis, as well as mixing in some value pieces. Jeremy Lamb played 30 minutes. I don't know if I expect him to do it, but he does have upside at his price tag. DiVincenzo, since coming over, hasn't looked too good, but he had a couple spikes in ownership. I think that like correlated with Lamb being out, so maybe not DiVincenzo. Aaron Wiggins is crap at fantasy, but he's going to play a lot of minutes. Look to see who's starting for OKC at center. Derek Favors started the last game. Doesn't mean I want to play Derek Favors. It just takes Roby out of the pool, if you will. So, Teo Maledon spiked. I don't expect him to like follow it up, although they are pretty short on bodies. The one guy that played a lot of minutes was really annoying, kind of came out of nowhere. I believe, where is he? Was Waters. Lindy Waters played 24 minutes randomly. I don't know if he gets back there. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of the slate, guys. I'll do a quick thing on DK because, like I said, I mostly play on DK. If you want that FanDuel content, that's Nick's side. He can get in there. But if I'm building like a couple lineups, maybe I do this. I go like Shai. Maybe I go like this. Actually, hold up. Let me make sure you're doing this. I know it's not as important on a slate today, but make sure you're just making sure the guys who start the latest are latest, just in case something happens. Play 3-point guards, play Sabonis. Right, gives you like a decent amount of salary to work with, and I think that makes a lot of sense. If you want to do that, maybe play. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of it for me, though, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna be working on the format of this, so like let me know if you guys have any suggestions or have any preferences. But yeah, this is new to me for NBA streams. I usually do back and forth in the back. So doing these like solo streams are interesting to say the least. So other than that, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the Patreon, get in the general Discord. There'll be a link to the Discord below. And well, you won't get access to the premium content. You'll be in there and you can contact us and reach out. So other than that, have yourselves a fantastic day and good luck tonight.